Something I wish that I understood earlier in business is that aligned clients don't require you to become a completely different person. And I know that sounds obvious because I used to think that if work felt hard, it just meant that I needed to be more disciplined or if I needed to force it. If a client was confusing, I thought that it meant that my communication was bad. And if someone didn't value me, I thought that I needed to prove myself more. And when I felt anxious before calls, I thought that I needed to emotionally regulate harder. But now I think that sometimes your nervous system is not the problem. Sometimes your nervous system is just giving you information. And just for context, I run a marketing business now. This time last year, I was making $3.5K. Now I make $12K a month. And most of my work is client-based. So this isn't just a theory for me because I've had amazing clients, I've had draining clients, and I've had clients that I overgave to. I'm not doing any more work now than it was back then. I just am doing better work with better people. And I've had clients that taught me a lot about my own boundaries, and I'm so grateful for that. I call it the real life MBA class. But what I realized is as I worked on myself, my clients got better, right? And not because every client in the world magically changed overnight, but because my standards changed, because my energy changed, what I tolerated changed, what I accepted changed, and what I was available for changed. And honestly, that changed my entire business. I'm here with Fa today. My amazing husband got me some soup these past few days. Came home from work just because I was sick. Because I can't leave the house. I'm literally feeling so bad. But I hope that you enjoy this video because this was the number one lesson that I really needed to learn. And it all was an internal journey. I talk about that so much on my channel. But the mistake that I made early on is when I first started, I thought my business was mostly about skill. And that if I was good enough, that people would respect me. That if I delivered enough, that people would value me. And that if I overgave, people would eventually notice me and reward me. If something felt chaotic, I thought I needed to work harder. But what I didn't realize is that I was building my business from approving energy, not from an inner knowing about my self-worth and the way that God has designed us each to bring our different gifts to the world. And I wasn't even operating from a space that I would have accepted for someone else. I'm very good about paying people and making sure that other people know what they're worth. And I just was not doing that for myself. I was trying to prove that I was worth hiring, prove I was helpful, prove I could deliver, prove I was valuable. And when you build from that place, you often attract people who need you to keep proving. That was a really hard lesson for me to learn because at the time I thought I was just being a good service provider. I thought that I needed to prove myself in business. I thought I was being generous. I thought I was being committed. But sometimes overgiving, and oftentimes overgiving, is not generosity. Excuse me. Sometimes, pretty much all the time, overgiving is either fear or it's manipulation. Fear that if you stop doing extra, people will leave. Fear that if you have a boundary, that people won't value you. And fear that if you ask for what you need, you'll lose the opportunity. When the craziest part is the reality is the opposite. And all of this fear comes from you wanting to control the outcome when really the only thing that you can control is yourself. So I'm looking at my notes here, but I want to say that good clients still require work. Because aligned clients are not clients who require nothing from you, right? Like I said, I'm not working any harder, but I'm still working. Good clients still require work. They still require skill. They still require communication. They still require deadlines, and they still require emotional maturity. They actually especially require emotional maturity. They still require problem solving and initiative and follow through. But there's a difference between work that stretches you and work that absolutely drains you because you just realize that that person is not going to hold up their end of the bargain. Aligned clients feel challenging. They really, really do. But misaligned clients feel destabilizing. They feel like your life force is just being drained out of you. And, a good client will challenge you to become better, but a bad fit client makes you feel like you're one mistake away from being punished, fired, or whatever it is because so sorry. A good client respects your expertise, but a bad fit client makes you constantly defend why you know what you're doing. And then another thing is that good fit clients communicate with you. They give you time to catch up. They're very direct, but a bad fit client leaves you guessing, they leave you spiraling, they leave you over explaining. And for a long time, I really did not know the difference. I didn't even know my nervous system well. I didn't know myself well enough. And so if you're making between like 2 and 7K a month, you probably have this problem, or even like 1 and 7K a month. And so definitely check out my website, because I do offer like booked calls. I'd love to do a call with you and talk to you through your issues. But if that's not affordable for you as well, like I do offer email sessions too, but I'd love to work through with you like why this is happening, because it's probably a pattern in your overall life. And, there's some things there that we can do to actually improve the inner world, so that way the outer world becomes better. Okay, so next part is like your nervous system is giving you data. And so this is where I think a lot of women override themselves, and it's because you don't yet have self-trust. So I want to identify that problem for you, because when we feel anxious before calls, when we dread seeing messages, when we feel tight in our body when someone asks for something, we feel resentment building. And instead of listening, we often judge ourselves as well. Like I know that I used to. So you'll say things like, I need to be more professional, I need to be more patient, I need to be more disciplined, I need to be less sensitive, I need to communicate better. Sometimes those things are true, right? Like we all have things that we need to work on. None of us are perfect. And especially today, and the way that like social media works and everything, I know I myself have found some toxic behaviors in myself that I've had to unlearn. And so if you're watching this, I really think that you're meant to be on this video, and that you've experienced something similar. And there's nothing wrong with experiencing those things, but if we can name the pattern and overcome them, it goes so far of a way in order to getting the life that you want. Because sometimes for discomfort when you're dealing with people means that you need better systems, better communication, or better skills in different areas of life. And then sometimes, your body's not being dramatic, it's not a right fit. Your body's trying to tell you the truth before your brain can actually catch up to it. And I think that's one of the biggest shifts in business, right? Is learning the difference between discomfort that grows you and discomfort that makes you abandon yourself, because those aren't the same thing. I will say though, I really have trouble leaving any sort of client before I replace the income. So I'm not telling you to go remove that bad client today, especially if they are paying you. What I am saying is like recognize that within yourself and be open to why God is doing this, why he's pushing you into the next level. Because if you're resonating to what I'm saying, that's truly what I believe he's trying to do. And so maybe ask yourself like why he's trying to push you into the next level. I'm so sick. I'm like, thank you for bearing with me with all of this. I think I'm actually going to stop the video today. I'm not going to force it, but part 2 will be out tomorrow. So definitely ask me any questions that you have. And yeah, just leave me any comments, anything like that. And I'll see you next time.